For me, the destination was not to be a profitable trader. I wanted to be a rich maker. I started saving cars I was going to buy on IG, DMing car dealers, and I was asking for the prices of my dream cars. You know the vibes now. We got to the market, fair and square. The market shattered those hopes like they were pieces.
Because at the end of the day, generational wealth is the goal. We're not just in this industry to make some money. No, we're here to make generational wealth.
It was election week, and as well as 9:30 equities open, so there's going to be volatility. So price might not return to my fair value gap entry after the break of structure, market structure shift has happened. You understand? So I just knew that okay, this had to be it. If I don't do this, I have a high chance of missing this. If you're watching me right now, you're most likely losing money consistently. And you clicked on this video because you want to know what someone else did to get out of the position you're in. I know exactly how you feel. I felt that pain of putting in the work and the results still don't come. You could be doing everything right to the best of your knowledge, but there are things you don't just know about. Talk less of incorporating them. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my personal trading struggles and the exact things I did that put me in this position where I'm closing almost every month profitable and have been able to improve the quality of not just my life but those around me after almost 2 years of losing money. So let's go over my backstory. How did I find trading? I was introduced into this whole trading space by my cousin, and he got into trading before me. Right, so I reached out to him and I told him that bro, the other things I was doing at the time, right, like what I'm doing right now is not working. Like I'm literally not making any money, and I'm just putting in the work and nothing to show for it. So he was like, "Come on, trade now. Come on, teach you how to trade. Come, let me show you how this thing is done." Yet he wasn't even profitable. He didn't even know what he was doing. But you know when someone is just basically giving you an update on what they do, you get me? So he was like, "This is what I do. See, where I see these guys online." Like, so he showed me the lavish lifestyle online, guys flaunting money, and I was like, I was interested. You get, so we now went on this journey of learning. And what happened here was that we were interested because of the lifestyle we saw, just like every other person, right? You're seeing what people are doing with this trading thing, and you're like, wow, I must get this shit done too. You get me? So we basically came in with hope, right? There was just this hope created in our minds that we're coming in, we're going to make crazy money, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We started setting goals. Started setting goals of what we buy once this forex money hits. I literally started saving. I started saving cars I was going to buy on IG. I was DMing car dealers, and I was asking for the prices of my dream cars. I wouldn't even say my dream cars per se. I would say the cars, my starter cars, the cars I'm going to start with. So I was checking the price of houses. We were literally saying, "Oh, we're going to go on this vacation by December. We're going to do this. We're going to do that." You know the vibes now. We got to the market, fair and square. The market shattered those hopes like they were pieces. We lost to the point whereby we started doubting if forex is actually going to take us to our desired destination. Because for me, the destination was not to be a profitable trader. I wanted to be a rich maker, right? I want to be wealthy. I want to be working and making money on my own terms. I do not want no boss. I do not want a 9 to 5. No, I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and then while being an entrepreneur, I wanted to do what? Work on my own terms, like have that freedom, that kind of freedom, that financial freedom. I did not want anything else. So I didn't care what vehicle was taking me there. I just know that I need a vehicle that's going to take me to that point. What do I mean by a vehicle? A skill, an asset, business. I just know that whatever it is that's taking me there. I started doubting whether or not trading is the right vehicle for me. Because like, what's going on? Why am I losing too much? Because I don't understand why I'll be losing for 3 months in a row. Like I will take 50 trades, 100 trades, and lose all. You know that you're losing streaks that are very, very humbling. You see losing streaks where you're not it's not funny. There are losing streaks whereby you lose 4 trades, like 5, 6, 10 trades in a row, then you win two, you lose more again, you win three. At least those blues you're seeing on your MT5, right? Those blues are giving you hope. Not you're losing. January losses, February no blues, March no blues, really. Is this what wants to take us to the next level? Is this what wants you to get rich by losing money like this? You get me? Because the little money that we had that came to the industry, we blew all, we burnt all of them in no time. Because why? You hear people online tell you risk big, risk big. You're like, why not? You plaster, risk big, and you risk big. Market is calling your money. So what's the way forward for us? If this is how this market wants to really treat us, is this how we want to get wealthy? Really?
Now, those losses did not happen because it's compulsory that you lose in the beginning before making money. No. Those losses happened because there were things I was doing wrongly that just made me lose consistently. At the time, I had expectations problem, so I was expecting every new account deposit or every profit challenge to be the way out of the trenches. So whenever I'm seeing these challenges, whenever I fund a new account, I fund $100. I'm seeing this $100 as you $100 have to change my life. So it's either you change my life or nothing. So that problem with expectations had a very, very strong impediment on my growth. Let me explain how this expectation thing work. You never heard about Netflix before, and you're being told about Netflix. Someone tells you, oh, they have the best movies on there. Like if you go there, you see this, you see this, you see that. You just have to pay a certain amount to get access to this. And you're like, sounds good, I'll try it out. Now, when you're trying it out, what are you trying it out with in mind? You're trying it out because most likely you're expecting a good experience, right? That expectation that you're having now makes you come in hyped up, right? You're expecting it to be top notch, just like you were told, just like you've seen from someone else's experience, right? So now this is the case. You subscribe for Netflix and you go on there and you're seeing trash movies. To you, those movies are trash because it's not what you expect. You're expecting some high level shit. Versus you heard about Netflix and you're like, okay, let me just try this shit out and see how it is. Now, when you're trying it out with that mindset of, okay, let me try this out and see how it is, you're most likely not going to hate the experience. You may say, okay, this is actually good. It's actually better than I expected. Why? Because you did not come in with any specific expectation in mind. You came in because you wanted to just have a feel for this what this popular thing is like. That's the same thing that happened to me in my trading. When I came in because of I'm seeing cars, I'm seeing cash, I'm seeing money. I'm seeing people buy houses every day. I'm seeing people buy cars every day. So I'm like, this is it. Like if I can get the money to be able to buy these cars, I could probably invest in any business I want and grow my generational wealth from there. Right? Because at the end of the day, generational wealth is the goal. We're not just in this industry to make some money. No, we're here to make generational wealth, right? Or let's put it like this: we're here to get that basic money, right? We need to make generational wealth. You get me? So whenever you're trading and your thought process is I want to make money. I just hope I make money from this new account. I just hope I make money from this live account or from this prop firm account, right? You've tapped out of everything logical. You're very emotional at that point in time. So you're not thinking, the only thing that's in your mind, you're not thinking about how to take the best trade. You're not thinking about how to take the best setup. So what you're thinking about is how to change your life. And it's impossible. It is impossible for you to make the best decisions and take the best trades in that thinking state. Now that leads me to the second thing I was doing, which was I was focusing on the wrong things. Now let me tell you something. At that particular time, when I was trying to make money and I was struggling to make money, my focus was always on make money. The goal, the bag, money, money, what I can buy, the vacations we've planned out, the cars I need to buy, the cars I've saved on my IG. I want to price, I want to test drive, I want to do all this. That is the goal. I want to get funded. Oh, I want to be able to have 1,000, 3,000, $5,000 at my disposal to just burn. You know, that was what I wanted. Now, what did this do to me? This made me shift my focus from the things that actually make money trading to the things that are the byproducts of the things that make money. Let me explain. When your mind is focused on making money, right? When your mind is focused on the, the end results of having good trades, you're not looking at what you need to do to be able to have this end result. Because what you should actually be focusing on is, oh, I want to take the best setups. I do not want, right, to break my trading plan. I want to ensure I document or I journal every trade I did so I can know my areas of mistakes. I want to make sure that I flawlessly execute my edge with no errors. Now, if this is your mindset, most likely you can't help it, right? Whether or not you want it, you're gonna make money. But when your focus is on I need to make money. How do I get funded? Guess what happens? You're in profit challenge, you're 3.5% in profit, and the profit target is 8%. And you start thinking like this, you start saying, if I risk 2% to make 6%, I'll pass this challenge in the next trade. You're now looking forward to any trade, so you can risk 2% to make 6%, feeling and believing that that is where you're going to pass. And guess what? You now lose that trade. Now you're now, instead of you being down 1%, if you're ideally very risky on 1%, you're now down 2%, meaning overall on that account you're just up 1%. Now you're angry because this is taking you farther away from your goal. You're angry. You're looking for the next trade that you should use to go back to at least where you started the day from. Guess what? You take another trade and risk a bit higher and you lose again. Guess what? You already draw down from 3.5% in profit in just one day. Why? Because you're focusing on what? Making money, getting funded, buying cars, buying houses. Whereas your focus should be, for example, by the end of 2024, I want to stop breaking my rules. I want to stop over trading. I don't want to take a maximum I want to take a minimum of 2 trades a day. I want to ensure I journal every single trade. I want to ensure that I'm not emotional and I'm entirely fully in my logical state and critically thinking before I get on any trade. I want to make sure I execute my edge flawlessly. If this is the mindset, then you'll make money. But my mindset at that time was the complete opposite. My mindset was I need to make money, I need to make money. Don't give a fuck about all these things. I was not journaling, I was not doing any of those things. All I was doing was, oh, okay, this trade, this may be that trade, this may be the NFP where I'll, wow, this may be the NFP where I'll change my life. Yes, this will be my direction, this will be my direction. It doesn't work. If we're listening, the third thing I was doing wrongly was I did not have any source of income. My source of income at that time was pocket money, let's put it like that. Because I was doing some other things before I figured out about trading, and those things were not making me any money. I literally was coming to the market broke, as many of you will come. So how do I intend to fund accounts? I want to tell my family members and friends and you, I'm a trader now, you could just give me some money, and if I make money, all of us will be rich. If I lose it, I may not even lose it. I won't even tell them I'll lose it because I'm not thinking like a trader. I'm thinking like this is something that's here to make me a millionaire. So I'm not even talking about losing, I'm even talking about what I can make. So probably I'll meet my mom, I'll meet my parents, that kind of vibe, and they will give me maybe probably 50 or $100 and I'll come to the market. If I lose that money, that's the end of the story. That's the end. So I'm coming in with one shot, no kill. I just this is it and this has to be it. Why? Because there's no other means of making money. There's no other source of income, which is very, very bad. Let me tell you, a trader is not a broke person. A trader is the guy who has money in his pocket. Because we're actually here to grow money. We're not here to invent money. Because where money is made is working a job, rendering a service, selling a skill, selling your time for money. But what we do here in the market is we grow money. So you can't come broke, completely broke. I'm not saying you should come rich, but then you should have at least a source of income whereby you know that even if you blow this account, you lose this profit challenge. Well, at the end of the month, my paycheck comes in and I can just try again. Right? This is giving you a mental state that would keep you calm while trading is working out. Because truth be told is you need to submit to time. And I was going to talk about submitting to time later on in this video.
So you submitting the time is you understanding that you may not make it on your first trial, right? You may not make money, you may not have that withdrawal of your dreams on your first account deposit. You may fail, right? You may make mistakes. So, but if it's your last card, if it's the last money you have in your pocket, then where's room for trials? Where's room for continuity? So it is essential that two things involved. Either you have saved income, you've saved money from your job and resigned, and then when that's the case, you're not coming in, you've not saved $1,000 and you're coming to risk $500. No, you've saved $1,000. Probably start with $100 per deposit or prop firm account, right? $100 worth of prop firm account, or you have a job that's constantly bringing money every month or every 2 weeks, whichever the case may be. So what does this do for you? This helps your psychology. This helps you be in a calm state of mind and you are thinking straight. You're not thinking, oh, I need money to pay my rent by the end of this month. I need money to pay my electricity bills. I need money to pay for whatever thing it is that you have as cost of your living expenses. Because the truth is that the market would not pay for any of your bills. The only money that the only time the market pays for your bills is when you hit that withdrawal and it has hit your bank account. If your trading profits hasn't hit your bank account, don't ever look at the market to pay your bills. And that takes us to me making a mistake of using or seeing trading as a means of solving real life problems. The market is not going to solve your problems except you're profitable and you're making money, meaning except you click withdraw and it hits your bank account. It's only that money that hits your bank account that can actually be used to solve real life problems. Your trading capital is you're not seeing your trading capital as okay, if somebody wants to die in my family, I'll withdraw my capital and save the person's life. Would you close your company down because of the family member is sick? Less likely. That's the same thing here, right? Trading is actually your company here. Your capital rather is your company in this case. So you don't look at your trading account and the market as, oh, I have to make money today so that I can pay for XYZ or ABC. No. Plus, you should be learning how to make money from this skill. You're not learning how to use the skill or the money made to solve problems. You're looking forward to, if at all you make money, reinvesting it back into the business. That is the actual truth. You need to scale up, right? Scalability, or you need to get used to that money coming in. And when it comes to real life problems, I repeat and I'll say this: your real life problems cannot be solved in the chart. These were the mistakes I made that actually had an impediment on my growth, except you want to experience the same thing and later come back to say, oh, Prince, you said this. But then if you actually want to learn from my mistakes, I'm giving it to you right now. I have a session with a private student right now. When I'm back, I'm going to talk about the key things I did that got me profitable. Yeah, what's good, man? How you doing, bro? How you doing? Yeah, exactly. It was banger. It was banger. And fun fact is that I was so close to missing it because at the time I was recording a video. And yeah, you know, the entry I used was the turtle soup I told you about. Now it's not turtle soup per se. It's more like I just wanted to see an engulfing after that liquidity sweep was swept, the sales and liquidity sweep was taken. Because I know that if that happens, most likely due to the fact that it was election week, as well as exactly. It was election week and as well as 9:30 equities open. So there's going to be volatility. So price might not return to my fair value gap entry after the break of structure or market structure shift has happened. You understand? So I just knew that okay, this had to beat. If I don't do this, I have a high chance of missing the setup and boom, price flight. That's why I was that's why I was nailing yes. That's why I was nailing to you that for your system to be profitable, right? It needs to have three key components. It needs to have three key components. Let me list them out for you now. Now, for your system to be profitable, for your system to actually make you money in this market, you need to have a systematic way of finding direction. Meaning, your system should be able to tell you that okay, the market is going up or the market is going down. First things first, your system needs to tell you what time of the day you need to be actively trading. Right? These are things that build a profitable system. You need to know one, like I listed here, you need to know where the market is going. It needs to tell you direction. It needs to tell you what time of the day you should come in. It needs to give you an entry signal and an exit signal, and then where or how to manage your trades. What does this mean? The system tells you come in here at so and so time, come to the market at 8:30 Eastern time. You're looking, if you have ABC, then we are most likely bullish. If we're bullish, this is what you need to see to get in on the move. And if this happens, then you should throw your stop loss to so and so level, or you should increase your take profit to so and so level, or you should do one of these or do that to ensure that you mitigate the loss. And if this happens, then you should get out here in profit or get out below in loss. Do you understand what I'm saying? So these are the things that when you combine these things, it tells you whether or not you have a profitable trading system. Else, you're most likely just gambling, right? Or you don't have a complete system. That's why you see when people on YouTube and learning strategies from YouTube, it's not complete because the person teaching, not that the person is actually wicked, but it's just that they may not be able to give everything in just one video. And then when you now take that system from there, what happens? You it works for a while and then you start losing money. Why? Because you didn't get the complete package. It's just as simple as that. How I was able to get profitable was by doing the things I thought were not as important in my early days. I got a source of income. I got mentorship. Very important because most times you're doing things to the best of your knowledge, like I said earlier in this video. You're doing things to the best of your knowledge and you're doing them right. But because of you don't actually know whether what you're doing actually works in the market, but you heard it somewhere, you saw it from somebody, and you just picked it and started doing it, and okay, you feel like you're studying this system enough and you're backtesting it, then you should make your money. That's a big fact. Like the market doesn't care about you, right? There are things that have proven to work. Now, those things are proven to work. I may not carry it and give it away to you for free. Someone else may not carry it and give it away to you for free. But then, or they may not actually be able, because, for example, in the session I had with VIP students some days ago, we spent 3 hours. Literally, we spent 3 hours on chat. If I spend 3 hours making such videos for you here on YouTube, you probably not watch it. You probably click off because your attention span is fried. But when you actually have access to me and then I'm explaining why you need to know this thing for your profitability, then you sit down and want to actually understand and learn that thing, right? So it's counterintuitive. When people are giving things for free, it's taken for granted. But that's on the side. When I got mentorship, it was like a light bulb effect for me. I had everything. I had risk management fixed, right? I had many other components fixed. But me, when I got guidance, it was like joining pieces of puzzles together for me and then filtering out the things that are actually not necessary and incorporating and hitting hard on those things that are necessary, because you may not know everything that makes money in trading. You may not know what is exactly needed, right? You may not know what is exactly needed to make money in this market, but someone else that's going to tell you, do this, do this, do this, do that, and then do this for a month, do this for 2 months, do this for 3 months. At the end of the day, what happens? You start to see results. Now, because of most times when you get into mentorship, you're taught to focus on the right things, not focusing on making money. You're taught to learn how to submit to time. You're taught to learn how to actually be a professional trader, a disciplined trader, not a trader who's just chasing money. When these things happen, what's the byproduct? Profitability. You just can't help people get profitable. Submitting to time and learning was another thing that was a game changer for me. I was taught to do this, so I didn't just overnight figure it out. Okay, I have to this time. Now I was taught to do this, and it works like magic. See, if you're being shown how to drive and you want to learn how to drive today and attend a car race tomorrow, is it possible? Less likely. But if you actually want to learn how to drive so that you know how to be a good driver, right? You're going to be calm and you're going to be open to mistakes. You're going to be open to learning. You're going to be open to experiences. That is you submitting to time, and that's also you submitting to learning. Because if you don't do this, if you do not actually take out the time factor and just say, okay, however, this thing, how long this thing takes me, it's not my business, but I just want to get this shit right. Then you see that you actually get profitable in the shortest time possible. But when you say, I want to make sure I'm profitable by the end of 2024 on your own without being given a blueprint. I give a blueprint. I think I'll leave a link in the description below. Without being given a blueprint, you most likely flop because you don't know what is actually obtainable. You've not actually had this thing work for you. So you don't know what works and what doesn't work. One other thing that I changed was expectations. I was not expecting anything. Whatever comes, none of my business. What I want to know is I want to execute my system. I want to ensure I'm following my rules. I want to make sure on my journal I have a column for, is it called a column or a row? I don't know which one, but it's vertical. So I have a column. I think it's a column. Rows are horizontal, right? So I have a column for rules followed, and I want to ensure all of them are ticked. Yes, yes, rules followed, rules followed, rules followed, rules followed. Why? Because I know that if I keep following my rules, my system, my approach is proven to be profitable. What's going to happen? I am going to make money in the long run. But when I keep doing random things and I'm chasing money and I see set up, okay, this one looks nice, I've seen it happen someday, I decide to take it, most likely you lose money. I can't even tell why you're losing. So the best thing to do is don't expect anything from the market. Don't expect you get funded. Don't expect you're going to make a withdrawal. Don't expect anything. The only thing you should focus on doing is just make sure you follow your system. You you execute your edge without errors. That way you are rest assured that you've done your part. So what is left is for the market to actually do its part. Now, the final thing I would say is shift your goal from making money to doing what's right, which is similar to what I've just said already. It's more like putting in the work without giving a fuck about the results. You want to do what is right. Why do you want to do what is right? Because if you do what is right long term, you're going to see the tremendous results. You can't even control. Results you can't control because you're just doing what's right. You're going to see, oh, first trade, winning trade, oh, beautiful. Next trade, winning trade, oh, third trade, winning trade, next trade, losing, break even, winning trade, break even, winning trade, winning trade. Like, what's going on here? Sum up 10 trades, made $1,000. Not because of you risking too much, but because of you actually doing what is right. That is actually how this shit works. There are things you should have at the back of your mind on your journey to profitability. One thing you should know is profitability happens in the mind first before you see it physically. There has to be a shift in mindset before you change in account balance. This basically means that you have to work and operate in the mindset of a profitable trader before you can actually get profitable. You don't say, I want to be profitable first, then I will act like a profitable trader. No, you have to act like a profitable trader to get the results, right? Profitability is just the result. You know what I'm saying? It's basically you being able to make money long term, right? Consistently. You being able to consistently close month after month after month in profit. So it is a result based off of a certain action. And what is the action here? Being in the mindset of a profitable trader. When you're in the mindset of a profitable trader, what do? You do not over leverage, you don't over risk, you don't take setups that are not in your strategy or are not part of your game plan. So when you're doing this, when this is your thought process and this is how you operate, you're operating in the position and in the mind of a profitable trader. You can't help but get profitable. Not when you wait to get profitable and see profitability first before you start doing these things. It's just like the thing I said earlier about chasing money, right? So you can't, if you want to get rich, you don't chase money. If you want to get rich, you chase giving values and you chase opportunities that make money, right? You make sure you become a valuable person, you become the best version of yourself. So that what if you're rendering a service or you're selling a service to people, right? You have the technical know-how of how to service them best and get paid, not just chasing money. No matter how much you want to make get rich and you keep chasing money, oh, I want money, I want money, you will never get rich. Same thing applies to profitability. There has to be a shift in mindset before you can actually see that money in your bank account. Second thing you should know is that losing is only normal when it's temporary. You can't say that losses are part of the game and in January you take a loss. No, not a loss. In January you lose entirely. February losses, March losses, April losses. No, that is not part of the game at all. If that's part of the game, then how do we now make money? Right? Losses are only part of the game, meaning that there are certain trades that are just going to be losing trades. You can't win all the trades. Maybe 10 trades, you maybe lose four and win six, right? Or you could have three, four trades losing streak in a row. That is completely normal. But when it is longer than that, then it is not part of the game. Your system needs to be checked. Your system needs to be corrected. Losses are only normal when it's temporary. Now, everybody says journal your trades, but let me tell you this: journaling would only be a game changer for you if you know exactly what to keep track of. Because there are certain things that you say you go write down in your journal that doesn't really help you. Let me give you a typical example. I went through one of my students' journal when he joined earlier, and in his journal, he's taking notes of whether the trading day was a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Now that information has nothing to do with your trading. I asked him, why are you taking note of this? He said, well, he's just taking the dates. I said, if you're taking the dates, why are you adding Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays, or Fridays? Doesn't make any sense. Secondly, in his journal, he was adding the time he entered his trade, meaning he entered his trade on a Monday. I took a trade by 9 a.m. What does you taking a trade by 9 a.m.? How does that help you? Why are you tracking the exact time you're entering your trades? Besides, you could have that on your MT4. Everything you do should have a reason behind it. If you're trying to build statistics on what days you should not trade, and you're now taking note of the days you traded, like today was Monday and I took a loss, on Tuesday I won, Wednesday I won. You now draw a 1 month statistic and say, oh, or a 2 month statistic and say, oh, every Monday has been a losing days. On Mondays are usually losing days, so I'm scrapping out Monday. If that is not it, then you're just wasting your time. Right? The more important things you should take note of is always making sure that your checklists before your entries were followed. Right? You should have a checklist. You have I call it an entry drill. I have mine, so I show my students mine. Right? That entry drill is something that must be checked. Like the market must do this, and this before you enter a trade. It's compulsory. Right? If these things don't happen, you don't have a trade. Now, if you say, okay, yes, my checklist was followed, it was a 4 hour trade, it was a 3 hour trade. Now, why are you taking note of your risk reward? Helps you know your average risk reward, so that when there's any day that you're having a 1 to 17, you know that okay, this is just abnormal and there's something wrong in this entire setup. Right. So knowing what you should journal is the game changer, not just journaling generally that's the game changer. Because if you don't know what you're journaling, if you're journaling nonsense, there's no game that's going to change. This one is a bit counterintuitive. You would not realize that you're profitable until after a while. Now, guess what? It takes us back to, I think, the first thing where I said profitability happens in the mind before you see it physically. Now, when you're profitable, you will realize that you've tapped into profitability. When I got profitable, I started out with, first of all, I noticed weeks after weeks I was profitable, but I didn't take note of it. Like I was just, oh, my system is working well right now. Oh, that's good. Right. First month, beautiful month. Second month, beautiful month. Third month, beautiful month. And when I went back to look at my statistics, I was like, wait, these statistics are basically showing me that I've been profitable for an entire quarter. And not just a winning streak. I've had losses in between and I came out of them very well. I was like, let me go back and look at my journal through that 3 months and see what happened. Now I noticed that everything that was there was rules followed, rules followed, rules followed, rules followed, rules followed. Very minimal breaking rules. I think 1 or 2 days in an entire quarter, entire 3 months of trading that I was completely sticking to my edge and following it to the T. So what did I notice? I'm like, okay, I think this is profitability, but let's see what happens from here. Because now, are you basically making crazy withdrawals yet? No, you're not making crazy withdrawals yet. Why? Probably you don't even have capital, or you have just started trading. Maybe you just got funded, or maybe you just started making some okay money on your live account. Are you making big withdrawals yet? Like, are you profitable? Are you making big withdrawals yet? No. But are you profitable? Yes. So you may not actually realize it's going to take you maybe some people it takes them 3 months. Like me, it took me like 5 months before I realized that yo, I'm actually profitable. Now I got to understand that I am a profitable trader. And then once you now have those results back in the actions, it's uphill from there. There's no going back. There's no I don't think I can blow any account in this life again, except I decide to do a crazy account flip, which I know that okay, I'm exposing this account to high risk. And if that happens, then I can blow the account. But that aside, on my own, when I want to trade an account, it is impossible to blow the account because of what I know what it takes to make money. And I know exactly how to make money. How money is made is not what you think. Money is made in the mind. It's actually a mindset, a state of mind that makes us money in trading. It is not the physicality of I like the order block, I like the fair value gap I'm seeing, and you're selling from there or buying from there. No, that's not what makes money trading. You may look at me say these things and feel it's hard. No, man, it's fucking simple. Trading is principled. All you need to do is follow the instructions and the results would follow. All you need to do is follow the instructions and the results become a byproduct. You too can achieve this success. Your only limitation is your mind. All you need to do is get out of your way and do what is required. Lack of proper knowledge on what it takes to get profitable may be what is holding you back. If that's the case, invest in education. Once you figure this shit out, it stays with you for life. Choice is yours actually. You can either keep struggling or start thriving. If you want to reach out to me directly or make inquiries on the mentorship, my Telegram handle is in the description. Also, I have a free Telegram channel where I drop some free trade ideas. Link in the description as well. Until next time, Yebash.